Oh, hello, 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 hello. Hey, listen, we're gonna have some fun tonight. Can everybody hear me? I want to make sure I'm right because they let me fly solo tonight. These guys are crazy, you know. Hey, Curtis. Hey, Catelia, Milani. Who else? Who else is in here? I thought I saw somebody else. Yeah, they go. Yeah, man, they testing my nerves tonight. So I don't know, man. They're going crazy. Don't put me at the control. A team, how you doing? Anyway, so we got to be mistake free tonight. So listen, sorry for the late start, everybody. Um, it happens. So we should have a fun show tonight. But if anybody wants to come up early on, once I get started, this is one of those things we're going to have some debate. It can't just be me talking. We're going to do the balloon reaction show, and I know a lot of people like to react to some of these things we see in the balloon show. And hey, boss man, how you doing? Take heed. Hello, hello, hello. Um, so this one is good because it's a reunion show. I've never done one of these before, and let me give a shout out to Arlette. I think her balloon show is the most popular and the most professional. A lot of people do reactions to her shows because I guess a lot of people might clown the participants, both men and women, but I think what they talk about is indicative of what's going on out there in the dating world and how people feed off of each other. Like when they pop the balloons, I thought it was only women. When somebody says something and one woman pops a balloon, it seems like a lot of other women pop the balloon. But I've seen the same thing with some of the men. I've seen some. So I like the way they go back and forth. So this reunion show is kind of a culmination of some of the shows that we've already seen. And I only had a couple of instances I wanted to show, but I think I'm expand that and show a little bit more because I thought it was interesting. So fingers crossed. So when I start sharing this damn thing, I don't want to mess it up because they're leaving me here all on my own and they're crazy to do that. But anyway, so listen, the title of this one is The Engagement, The Baby Mama Drama, and The Simp. But there's a couple others that I'm going to talk about. And anybody who wants to chime in, I'm going to try to read the chat at the same time and kind of respond to what they're saying. So since I have the controller, one good thing is I can stop and start the video once we get started, or at will. And so I'm gonna keep the balloon show up, and I'm gonna put myself in a small corner, and whoever else comes up, they could be in the corner with me, and we could all share it in real time. This way, we don't because I only have one link this time, so it's not a lot of different links, and I think we could get to some pretty good discussions based on the reactions and some of the dialogue between old contestants and what happened with their dating and all that kind of good stuff. So I thought it was pretty good. So since I'm a little late, I'm gonna start right away. So just I'm gonna share the link and we're gonna go from there. And then just put a one in the chat if you see the link and it's all looking good and all that good stuff. Okay. So bear with me for a second. All right. And I think it's already up. So I'm going to share the screen. All right. I assume everybody can see it, right? You guys can see this. Great. I think so. Let me go back to without trying to mess this up. All right. So I want to get started. Hold on for a second. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right. All right. Here we go.
And one of the main reasons that people ended up hopping on you was something kind of a little silly when we look back at it. But I mean, I guess to them it was a big deal. But let's go ahead and see what it was that everyone ended up popping on.
Hi, I'm Driva.
Driva. Okay, how old are you?
I'm above 30.
Okay. Is he someone that's your type?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
How old did you say you were?
33.
33? Okay, yeah. How old did you say you were?
36.
36?
How old are you?
Above 30?
Above 30?
Mm-hmm.
You're not confident in it?
I'm waiting for my husband to have a kid.
Okay.
Because I didn't tell my age, y'all.
Yeah.
Look, Braylon already ready to interject. Yeah.
You playing
yeah.
games. What you playing for?
Okay, so Drevis, it seemed like you focused a lot on the men's age, but then when it came to you, you were like above 30, like you didn't want to disclose yours at all. You kind of explained it a little bit, but do you want to kind of get into it?
You know what, y'all? I'm so sorry. If I could go back, I would just go ahead and tell the age. I didn't know that it was going to be a big thing. My bad. Like, if I could go back in time, y'all, I would just say my age because I didn't know it was going to be a big thing like that.
So how old are you?
35, y'all. 35.
Let me stop it for a second there, right there. Now, this is an easy one, right? Listen, I know a lot of ladies are reluctant to say their age. And one of the things I thought was interesting as the dialogue goes on, she's going on this show and she doesn't want to tell these guys their age. And you ladies out there, why would she do that? I mean, a lot of ladies, I know when they get older, they don't want to tell their age. But if she's going to look for a guy to go out on a date with, and all that kind of stuff, why wouldn't she tell him his age? And why wouldn't she say her age? Because wouldn't that be important to a guy, especially if he was looking for more than just to sleep with her, right? I mean, maybe he wanted, if something would have popped off and he wanted to get married, her age would be pertinent. I mean, would be important, correct? Yes, no, maybe. And so I don't know why she has. So she's going to talk about it a little bit, and maybe you guys could tell me whether you agree with her explanation. And so you already saw her mea culpa. If she had to do over again, she said she wouldn't. She would have told her age from the beginning.
Internet, I am 35.
You can't come on a show like this disclosing information. Do you got kids? I'm maybe. Like,
I didn't
what?
say that.
I know,
I
I'm
didn't
just
say
saying. It's just
35.
Oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. So let's, first of all, the first girl, okay, we got the age thing out of the way. So this one here, let me just kind of set some things up. She's got a lot to say, but I saw this show with this dude here, and this whole show, and we're not talking about him particularly, but his whole show was funny because he was trolling all the ladies with his wig on, and he was making a point with them about wearing wigs and stuff. I mean, he was trolling big time. So if you ever go back and watch the Pop the Balloon show, this might be one to have fun with. But anyway, now this sister here has a lot of stuff going on, and she goes through a few things that you're going to find interesting, and I'll have some commentary on that once we get into it, and when they get into some of the discussions.
It accidentally literally just popped, but I feel like you probably want a girl that's more like clean.
Why you assuming that? Why you assuming?
And I'm just more edgier. I already know you're not gonna like it, but my last relationship was New Year's, January. So that's just.
So you popped because you assumed that I wasn't gonna like it?
Yeah, because it's so recent, and the other women, it's been a couple years, and
Nah, that ain't no
you know
reason.
the healing process. I'm not the best cook,
Okay.
and I dated a real estate agent before, and it just kind of clashed because I work more in entertainment music industry.
Okay.
Before we get to her, right? The funny thing about this lady here is, and this is one thing I'm gonna let you inside with my wife, and I don't know if a lot of women do this, and maybe y'all do. A lot of times she would assume she knows what my answer would be, so she won't say anything from time to time, but then it'll come out later. And the thing I get mad at is, or used to, because it doesn't happen much anymore. This was early on. I said, listen, you can't anticipate what my answer is and not give me a chance to, prove you right or prove you wrong. I mean, you're going to have to go through that, right? Because I'm not going to always agree with what you're saying. And sometimes I might disappoint you because you might be expecting a different answer. Or I might actually agree with you, but you didn't let me get a chance to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or I might want to go along, or I might want to do this thing or that event, but you took my choice away. And so this chick was taking these guys' choices away because she anticipated their answers. Now, I don't know if you ladies do that a lot. Maybe men do that too, but I know I find it infuriating. So what about you guys? Anybody out there, recognize that? Yeah, it's just true for married women. Yeah. Oh man, my wife used to do it all the time. It used to drive me crazy. But the fact is that maybe you don't have to be married to do it. This sister clearly anticipated the answer from some of these dudes because of her background. So let's go ahead and see what her background might be. Let's go ahead and let's go see what she's got that she's so afraid to talk about.
Zola. So after looking back, at your time on Pop the Balloon, I don't know if you were able to see any of the comments, but a lot of the viewers were like, why did she come on the show if, all she was going to do is pop on people based off of her own assumptions? No one ever said this, but she was popping on them. Were you able to see that when you went back and watched it, or what were your thoughts on that?
I got thousands of messages, emails. I mean, positive and negative. I just try to focus on the light and positive side of things, and it was so much comments on everything, not just that, the insecurity, just me, being a stripper and maybe not. Sometimes I regret saying that I was a stripper because it's just I know what comes with it. So people just think oh, you're a stripper part-time, so how are you looking for love? How are you even a woman of God? It's just all these things. No, I'm still a woman of God. And
okay, all right, okay. What God is she worshiping? I mean, she her own self-conscious or subconscious was telling her that there is something to be judged and being judged. People going to judge you by if you're a stripper or not. It takes I think it takes a certain kind of woman to dance naked in front of a whole bunch of horny ass men, right? You have to detach yourself for certain things from your body, right? From who you are in your essence to actually do that. And if you don't, that's even worse. I mean, this is just my opinion, right? I've never, they call me the stripper, but I have never done it. But I would imagine if you're dancing as a lady in front of a whole bunch of horny ass dudes, you got to somehow detach yourself from who you are in order to make sure you just don't, feel bad. I don't know about anybody else out there. How do you see it, right? Hey, Almanaz, how you say it. Listen, so her own self-conscious was telling her, you know what, if I tell these people I'm a stripper, they're going to think something about me, right? And there you have it. Let me tell you, I mean, just anybody want to come up? I don't know if the link is available. I got to put the link in there. Maybe I can invite people. I'm going to just put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to come up in the stream and all that kind of stuff, you can do it. So anyway, so I'm gonna let her finish talking and see the reactions people have to her, especially some of the guys.
And I still want love and things like that, but it's just overwhelming, all the messages.
I get it, but we're talking about the
people just focused on that, and I really wish they didn't focus on that, because it's just I'm more than a pretty face. I'm more than just some stripper. That's just some job to me.
It's kind of hard to not to focus on that, because if I'm a man and I'm looking for love, I wouldn't want.
Well, let me just stop it for just a quick second, right? Now, I'm trying to see if a few ladies out there think she has a point from the standpoint of, does anybody have a point when they say to somebody, don't judge me, right? We all get judged on certain things, right? How you behave, the choices you make. I think being, I I think we all get judged one way or the other. That's why people hide shit from other people, right? And and of course, nobody likes somebody's judgment, and how we react to each other based on how we judge them. Is it our prerogative, the judger or the judgee? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if somebody's doing something that is against the kind of things you believe in, and if you judge them harshly, then you probably shouldn't be hanging out with them, and maybe and vice versa, right? So, but I don't see how anybody could stop somebody else from judging them. And I think she already understands that. That's why she's so reticent to actually tell people she's a stripper, because she's not necessarily proud of it, right? I mean, I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? I mean, what's the thoughts on that? Anybody want the link to come up and talk about it? We can do that. I don't know, Lid, I saw you in there. I don't know if the link is ready available, or did he link it at the top of the chat or not? Anybody wants to come up and speak, or just put it in the chat. I think she has trouble being a stripper, and of course, and she also has issue juggling it with her quote unquote Christian faith, because if she simply asks, let's say that the one question, what would Jesus do, or what would Jesus say? Yeah, hey Lord, I'm a stripper. What do you think about that? I bare my body to hungry incels on a regular basis so I can make a couple of bucks. What would he say? What would he say? I mean, I understand that in these days, our way out for women is through sexual activity if they don't have anything else they can do. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but I guess that's the way it is. And the ladies who don't choose to go that route, they struggle in a different way. So I don't know. So anybody has, we got a little bit more of her, and I kind of believe it. I don't know why she has all those. I don't know if those are tattoos on her face or she just has as just decorations. But I don't know.
Take me out of it like that. Hey, that would be great if I could have a man that's a
I want to interject
provider.
really quick because
Take me out of that.
Yeah. So as far as that stripping thing, a little traumatized, but no, I would say being
and
honest
I'm
about
traumatized as well.
Trust
Just
me,
being
we
a
going
black
through the same
woman
Oh my
thing.
God.
in the industry, music industry, and what I've been through.
I get it, the entertainment business, trust me. But what I'm saying is this: the fact that you are honest about it, as long as you have to lead with that. You know what I mean? I know you're saying like, oh, I did it 2 months ago, whatever the case is. But when you talk to someone, they're gonna feel like it's right now. You know what I mean? So as long as you're transparent
And that's why I popped my balloon, because being realistic, most likely I'm gonna work with a guy that's working in the entertainment industry. So when I say entertainment, I'm not saying male porn star, male stripper. No, music industry, sports. They're most likely gonna understand me more because it goes hand in hand. Like,
no, I get what you're saying with
Cardi
that.
B, like I look up to that.
You're saying, but that's why you popped your balloon. But it's almost, I won't say like a coward way, but you popped your balloon with the preconceived notion that yours is going to get popped instead of allowing it to see what's going to happen.
It's like, so that's not why she popped the balloon.
If they
yourself in the foot
it doesn't
before it
matter
even
if
starts.
the balloon got popped or not. I'm not gonna go on a date because I didn't feel a deep connection with anybody.
How you feel a deep connection in 30 seconds?
Okay, like not even that. The physical attraction wasn't there. I'm just going off like women intuition.
But what I'm saying,
like,
doesn't it
I
feel
She's got a lip. I think she's got a lip piercing as well. She's telling these dudes that none of you guys are the ballers that she's looking for. That's what she's saying. And the fact is, none of those guys are checking for it other than just to have a good time. That's her dilemma.
Isn't it like a shot
I
in the
don't
foot?
see.
You're like not
maybe
even trying.
one day, yeah, sure, but I can't see further than that. And I'm 31 years old.
Oh my God.
And just based off experience, dating guys that are outside of the entertainment industry, they try to change me or they try to judge me like,
So that's
what you're doing right now.
That's the preconceived notion. No, we're not judging you at all.
Yes, you are.
We're just bringing to light on what men think and what a lot of men
And
saw
that's
your
why,
ass.
like,
But
the
not all
entertainment
men
industry
think like
is
that.
gonna be more
majority.
understanding,
But not
and I'm
all.
more
Not
comfortable
all
with
men
Yeah,
that.
but
like
the
that.
thing is that you guys
Exactly.
don't know how
Oh
men
my
think
God.
because you're
It's
not
not
a man.
even
Y'all
stripping,
simple though, to
like,
be honest. Y'all simple men.
Again,
And there's women that dance in the strip club and they find a whole husband. There's like
Those
artists like Cash
outliers,
Doll in the entertainment
they're
industry,
outliers in
and she
everything.
find her a partner.
there's so
Honey,
many
don't let
women in
nobody
this
define.
industry.
Okay. All right. So the chick in the blonde with the blonde weave thing she got going on up there, she's throwing daggers at men all night long. And her part's coming up. Okay. Her part's coming up. But I think the guys don't kind of get it. The stripper over here, she wants a baller. And those guys in the entertainment business don't view her as anything other than maybe a good night if she even makes their roster. Even if she makes that's her dilemma. She think one of those guys going to actually choose her out of the circuit. They might. The probability is probably low. I mean low. If a baller's balling like that, he's looking for the cream of the crop. He's looking for he is looking for something other than her. She looked like a good time. I like what she got on. I mean, I could look at that for a little while. Of course, if I wasn't married. But anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going.
Blame
Trees
you or
that
judge you.
They're
Honestly,
not
do
even
what you
open
gotta
about
do.
it. Are you crazy? Most of these women are married. They're in relationships.
Most of
they're
what
going to
women?
college. I just hate that people assume like, oh, you're a stripper, so you're not smart. I get it
Most of the
because I was
strippers
a
ain't married.
hypocrite. In my younger days, I never smoked, I never drank. I was the hypocrite that was saying, oh, I would never dance. Like, that's degrading to women. Like, but you just can never say never. Like, you just never know how life is going to turn out for you for any situation. So, like, I get it. But I'm being realistic and I'm letting those guys off easy.
Yeah,
We're not going to work out.
Dorian, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I respect the naked hustle. Let's be honest, most of the people that, women that are, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people that are in church or things are reformed, you know what? As far as how I feel about it, I feel like you might have been projecting a little bit. I think you need to stand on business about what you do and why you do it for yourself, first of all. And then you should use it as a testimony for other young girls that are growing into women. You could be a testimony for somebody, but don't let any man make you feel bad about what you do and why you do it, because you know why you do it.
Because it's not my life.
Exactly.
My life is
when I met you, you're very humble.
Music.
You're very humble. You're very beautiful and you're very sweet. I didn't even know you were a dancer. So
exactly, because I
don't
go out there, hey, I'm a stripper. Nice to meet you. No.
I love the way women blow blue smoke up each other's ass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all spent a lifetime just blowing blue smoke up each other's ass over things. I mean, even if you want to give support, the truth of the matter is she's in the position she's in because she's doing something that is antithetical to her own so-called life. She knows, and she's not saying it, that there's some kind of trauma or desperation that made her strip for some extra money, as opposed to something else, because she's a struggling artist, right? So going to work at, I don't know, Hooters or some shit like that is a waste of time. So I can get up there, shake a little knobby with all the incels out there, the hungry men, make a few quick dollars, and I'll deal with my soul later. I mean, that's the truth. Why don't you just say that? And you know what? I know I'm going to be judged, and the regular 9-to-5 guys who might want me for something other than just to bang me out every night is going to want me to stop doing that. And I don't want to stop doing it. So I got to have a baller who will understand that, or an entertainer who understands the industry, who's used to their girls and their boys, having, orgies and shit like that. So they're not going to judge me. I mean, that's the real truth. And maybe if she was really truthful with herself, she wouldn't have this much trouble you know, trying to come to grips with it or even explaining it. That's just the way I see it. Of course, you know, hindsight, I'm over here on the other side of the computer. It's easy for me to say, but that's what I'm getting, you know, and that's what I would tell her if we were talking. Anyway, anybody else have anything? Anybody have any bright ideas on what's the wrong with this chick? Can you see going down the aisle with her with the little face markings and the ring in her upper lip and saying, you know, till death do us part, baby? You know, and maybe you can give up the pole at some point if I make enough money for you. You know, Jesus Christ. But anyway, all right. So it's a couple more minutes. It's almost the end, and I got another one after this one, and we're gonna keep going.
No, I'm a recording artist. Nice to meet you. Like I really work in this music industry.
They look at it in a negative way. They look at it in a negative way. I look at it in a positive way. Like I said, if you look in the Bible, I don't know exactly which book of the Bible was, but I could have sworn the lady that touched Jesus' cloak. Y'all know what I'm talking about was a prostitute. I don't know. I'm not saying you're a prostitute, but what I'm saying is that you can use it as.
And that's like another thing. Yeah. There's different levels to this. There's strippers, there's prostitutes, there's escorts. No, I'm just a stripper here and there. This is not every day.
Are you ashamed of it?
No, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just it's not my life. Like I just see it as it's just here and there.
So all right,
my life is
let's go ahead and move on to our next topic then. So Braylon, during your episode, seems like you had a lot to say, you know, and some of the things you said caused a lot of controversy, you know,
Okay, so my man with the hat on is getting ready to speak, and I want y'all to listen to him because he's a confident dude on the things.
In your lane, my boy.
What lane is that? What you talking about?
Now, you know, listen. The worst thing you could do is when one man is talking and he's putting the honeys in his place, and then you're going to stand in there to deflect as a guy. Why? What makes you compelled to do that? I mean, that's the simpiest of behaviors. Now, he's not even the simp I was talking about, but that was just an extra added bonus because he has his own line of shit coming up soon too. But I mean, I can't stand guys who do that. Just if you ain't talking, and the other guys, I don't care what he's saying, the women don't need you to come to their rescue. All of these chicks are what my man O'Shea Duke Jackson says, they're weaving and sandling it up. You know, let them get what they deserve. You know, let them get what if they don't like it. They know how to go ahead and get back at them on their own. They don't need you to come protect them. Anyway, so I don't like guys who do that, man. Just shut up.
Stay in your lane. I got my own lane. I'm covering it.
Skinny small jeans. Be easy.
I'm top tier, you bottom tier.
I just want to say, you sat here to most of those women, and you were telling those women that they had too much weed. But you've been sitting here on my girl since she been here. And the hair is the same.
I've been talking to her.
Oh.
All right. So the lady who charged them up saying, you telling the ladies who got too much weave, she got a big Dragon Ball weave on her head that looks like it weighs 10 pounds. You know, and all the honeys on here, man, maybe except two, have some kind of weave in their hair. You know, so let's see how they get through this whole conversation of weaves. And it's not even a right or wrong. It's all a perception thing. And let's just see how it goes. I'm not going to stop it again.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Like
I'm confused.
Just like I've been talking to all the other ones.
You got a crush on me
when I was on them.
So, Braylon, are you typically, you know, that straightforward with people in like person when you meet them?
It's not really for us. It's not a make or break thing for a lot of
you saying this, we like to have fun. Y'all doing it for y'all. It's not for us.
For ourselves, not to be in competition.
Yeah, right.
You know, why do women lie about this shit, man? You know, why? Just how come we can't have just a modicum of honesty, right? And I like what the brother says. Some of you brothers better step up, man, and stand on your square. When I say this, you saw how it was like a whole pack of hyenas. I gotta say, when he just mentioned y'all do it for y'all, that's what y'all tell us, right? We don't do this shit for you. That's what y'all say. And then when men said get the weeds off, you said, well, you guys only click women with weaves. Your guys, your women are all over the place with this shit. Now, listen, I tell you, the sister over here, maybe I don't like the color of her hair because it's not natural, but she has a natural set of hair. The blonde chick with the white hair, with my man all hugged up. She looks the best out of all of the women there. The best. I swear to God. Anyway, and that's just natural. Just natural. It don't have, everybody's hair ain't that short, but she got the right kind of head for that. And this is a good picture of her too, right there, I guess on the left of your screen. She looked really good with her short, natural hair, except for the color, of course. But you know, she's light skinned, so she can pull it off. Anyway, if I had the hyena sound, I'd play it.
Do you put on a chain to be in competition with another man?
No. Anybody? No.
Okay,
No.
yeah. So that's not how it is for
else.
how we choose to wear
Yeah.
our hair and nails. It's not competition.
We're talking about hair. We're talking
Chain.
about
Yeah, but that's for us. That's not in
again,
competition.
and she's asked me, what do I like?
Yeah.
I have a right to have.
You do.
My,
True.
You
Yeah,
do.
but you could have kept the part when you said
You
that
said
we
we
did
do
some
it for
That's
competition.
where
Yeah.
crossed the line.
you ladies do it for yourself. Y'all don't
When
do
y'all
it.
get your hair done, who's the first one to compliment you on your hair? Another woman, right? Most likely.
My daddy.
Right.
Hey, I'm
Okay,
just-
so
I'm
we're
just-
gonna
I'm
go
just
ahead and
here
move
being a truth
on.
teller. I'm sorry.
Yes, we heard you, Braylon. We heard you. So,
Well, I'm gonna stop it there because I'm gonna skip ahead. But anybody have any comment on the weave situation? Anybody want to come up? Anybody, just ask for the link. I'll do it. I'm saying I don't know if I'm wrong, but he said a couple things that's true. If you have 10 men in the room or 5 men in the room, 90% of them are going to say they'd rather see a woman with her natural hair. Now, being a man who has a wife with natural hair, I understand it takes upkeep. My daughters they don't wear weaves and stuff like that either, but you gotta take care of your hair. And so it takes time. No matter how busy you are, it's got to be part of your life, right? But as a married man, when I see my wife fixing her hair, washing it, cleaning it, doing all the things that she needs to do to keep her natural hair up, I gotta say, it kind of turns me on, to just see her working on her hair. And one of the things I always loved about her is she never mind me playing in her hair, no matter what she did to it. And it's always her hair, always. So I mean, I guess I'm biased that way. And that's fine. But I didn't tell my daughters they shouldn't wear weaves. They just take after their mother. They got like 4C hair. And my oldest daughter, she takes real pride in her hair too. I mean, her hair is growing like crazy. And she always keeps it up. So they find time to do the things that you think are important. And I think putting these big old tribal weaves on it's got to be for your own. It's got to be for yourselves and for competition with other women to look like straight hair like white women, to compete with white women. That's the way I see it. Because naturally, if God wanted your hair to be straight and long and like that, he would have gave it to you. And so there you go. There you go. Anyway, so I'm gonna jump ahead to the next part because that's where I wanted to get to. So we got a little lighter side of something coming up, and I want to see how you guys react to this. All right, so bear with me for a second. Let me get my bearings right. We're gonna skip ahead. All right, let's go.
You cannot. We're on a public platform.
All right, y'all. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. This is Mike's topic, which is a good segue because we're moving on to our lovely engaged couple here. Let's give it up for them. All right. So obviously, Mike and Kay, you guys are our first Pop the Balloon or Find Love engaged couple. And we are so happy for y'all. Let's go ahead and see your journey and what it took for you guys to get to where you are today.
I just wanted to know where you were from, and then how do you feel about men with kids?
I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I would prefer him not to have kids because I don't have kids.
but I'm open-minded.
You didn't let her finish.
She says she would prefer, so I don't want her to settle. I want her to get exactly what she wants.
I feel that. I appreciate that.
I have 2 children, so 19, 14. I'm very interested. If anything, I think you're very beautiful. I like the way you carry yourself. You said you're big on health.
All right, so before I say anything else, I gotta stop 2 things. One, I think he caught up with that. I think she should have all the things she wants. I didn't want her to settle. That was that caught her ear right there. And 2, I don't see how in hell he could look past those goddamn nasty ass eyelashes, because she don't need them, and those things are fluttering in the wind. And I can't, I don't understand why. Because I'm an old fart, right? We used to call them false eyelashes. So they were back there in the old ancient days. And just somehow, I guess, shame women out of wearing them. And the comeback is only back because of the alphabet community. The alphabet community who dress you guys who convinced y'all that somehow putting eyelashes like that on actually enhances your beauty. It does not. In no way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't care if I'm being judgmental or biased. It is not a good look. Now, the only other thing is she doesn't have those nasty ass long claws that makes her look like a velociraptor. So that's cool. She's got the nice height. She's cute as hell. And she's got her natural hair going on. Okay, I already said about the color. But anyway, let's go ahead and see how they fell in love.
Stuff like that. I'm into that. So I would have kept, but I mean, I'm
Thank you.
So high vibe.
All right. So I had to stop it. I have to put a good story there, right? So it's always kind of warms my heart to see a guy who wants to get married find a girl who wants to get married. Now, she doesn't have any children either, by the way. I didn't get her age. I did look at her Instagram. We don't have to switch there now. However, she changed all her, they met in June, and it seems like all her Instagram photos since the engagement or since they got engaged is with her and him, not just her by herself. She got a couple of things. I think she sings and stuff like that. But so he made the Instagram reel to let everybody know that she is not alone anymore. So there's hope, right? It is 2024, and actually somebody actually proposed to somebody in front of some other people, and she actually said yes. Good luck to him and God bless him, because I don't know. If they believe in the vows, then maybe they could make it work. So good for them. So we're going to move ahead just a little bit to the last one. All right, where am I at? Right. Okay. And this one, this is going to be the last one for the show. And it's going to be interesting because there's going to be some good dialogue with this one. I think the ladies might get a little triggered. But it's indicative of how we are living today, how you guys are living today, how my kids are living today in this era, because they're both Z and a millennial. And it's what they got to deal with as well. But they're girls, so it's a little different than for guys.
I seen it on Facebook. So, Brian, you already know we're talking about you.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your journey on Pop the Balloon.
How many kids you got?
I got 3.
You got 3?
Yep.
How many baby daddies?
I have 3.
You got 3 baby daddies.
Yes.
Okay. How many kids you have?
I have 2.
How many baby daddies?
2.
2? Okay. So you didn't think after the first one that you wanted to marry the next one?
No.
No? How many
And
kids
your
you have?
preference. I have 3.
You have
25,
3?
18, and 12.
Okay. How many baby daddies?
2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's no disrespect towards that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want you to understand, when it comes to a man of top tier, right? We give you a few from one man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you have multiple from a different man,
Mm-hmm.
that disqualifies yourself.
So it disqualifies a top-tier woman.
That's exactly right. Why? Because there's billions of women on this planet.
All right, Brian. So you came out episode 15. I was like, Brian, what are some of your deal breakers? You said you don't have not one, not any. But as we saw, as you went down the line, you did have a deal breaker, and that was women that have multiple baby daddies.
Right.
So, you know, what do you, is that something you came out knowing, or?
Of course I came out knowing, but for that right person, I will compromise for that, right? And I think every man will compromise for that if they come in with multiple kids for multiple different men, right? Okay. We gotta like them like that. That was my deal breaker, but like I said on the show, then I would extend grace for somebody that I'm feeling like that. So that's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he understands what deal breaker really means. You know, if there's no compromise with a deal breaker, it's either a deal breaker or it's not. You know, well, what do you mean that, you know, depending on how you feel about the chick, you know, you'll break your, that's what we tell the women all the time. That if you an ugly dude like me, you can't get the top tier, but if a top tier select man comes in, you'll throw all your rules out. That's what you just said. You're going to throw all your rules out because the chick who has 8 kids by 12 baby daddies, if she looks good enough to you, then you'll throw that aside. Man, now you're talking out of both sides of your ass there, brother. I just have to say that because I'm gonna get on the chicks later on, but that one's for you.
So then, why is that something you didn't say like up front when I was like, oh, what's your deal breaker?
Because after listening to the women, I don't know which one I was gonna like. You know, I didn't, as far as the responses, who I was gonna attract or, you know, pull energy from. So I didn't really know who I was gonna feel until I heard what they had to say. So that's that grace part right there, right? So even if they had multiple different kids from multiple different men, if I still like them like that, I would accept that. Like real men do.
Okay.
So bullshit.
You're kind of saying like you didn't want to say that just in case one of them popped on you?
All of them would have popped if I said that.
He was testing the waters.
Yeah.
But he was giving nobody grace. Why are you saying grace?
I mean, even though that we talked, me and this guy earlier, we was joking around. He said nothing wrong. Like, it devalues the woman when you go through multiple men and have multiple baby daddies. We don't want to deal with that. If you got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies, it's like, damn, your decision-making skills are horrible.
Y'all forget that y'all the ones who and then y'all forget that I'm 41 years old. I got a 25-year-old child. So you're basing your perception of me from 25 years ago.
Come on.
I'm not that person I'm not that kid that I was 25 years ago. And I'm not that young adult that I was 25 years ago. I've grown from that. I've healed from that. I now make better choices, better decisions. And I live more of a healthy love life, you know, than I did then. So you're going to tell me, oh, well, you got this many kids, I can't date you.
No,
but that happened 25 years ago. At what point are you going to give grace? Like,
hey, sister, 25 years ago, you said you made a mistake, but you're not in the pool that this guy is talking about. You're no longer in that pool. The guys who might date you probably already have families, they're done or whatever. A young guy looking to start a family ain't checking for you. He's not going to be checking for you. I mean, maybe you should have just sat this one out because nobody's judging you, because the guys who will come after you don't give a shit that you have kids anymore because they don't need you for that. If somebody wants to date you, they're not going to worry about your children because they're going to be in your age bracket. They're going to probably have kids of their own. And so they're not worrying about having a family. They're not worrying about building something from scratch or something like that. With you, is a different story. You might be a good date. You might be fun to be around, even love. But you're outside of the league this young man is talking about. Anyway, so that's the deal.
Like at how long are you going to, I don't want to use the word punish, you know, for lack of better words, a woman for her past. It's like Brian came out and said, I don't judge a woman from their past. You know, we all make mistakes. And then he basically just flat out judged.
That's the gentleman's preference. We're not judging you for how many kids.
Yeah.
How many baby fathers you got. If you get with a guy and I'm 40 years old, per se, and I have 8 kids by 6 different women,
Yeah.
that says something.
And then everybody's situation is different.
That
Like
part.
4
we all
kids
have
and
different
4 baby
circles.
daddies.
But that's not
3
what
kids
it
and 3
was. I
baby
have
daddies.
my children. I have by 2 different men, and I was in a 12-year relationship that was abusive. I escaped that by God's grace. I give thanks every day. And so when I moved on to the next relationship, I'm just looking for something better than what I had. And just because it was better doesn't mean it was for me. So when I realized this isn't for me, you know, should I marry this man just because society is going to look at me like I'm a failure as a mother or as a woman? Or no, should I keep going and look for what is really for me? I'm not going to say that I've made all the best decisions as a young adult. I never said I made the best decisions.
And that's what we're referring to, the decision-making skills.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's now, that's in the past. So you're not gonna meet a woman and she tell you she stole a candy bar at 14 years old. Oh no, I can't do that. I don't do thieves. She was a kid. She made a mistake. She ate that, and the candy bar is gone. So in my situation, I feel like I ate that. I ate that relationship that I went through. I ate being a young teenage parent. I ate it. Like the young kids say, you ate. I feel like I ate. I've grown from that. I'm not that person.
Let me stop for a second. We have some more of this coming up. The juicy part is still coming. What's going on, boss man? What you got to say? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I came on board to drop the link for Lost in Translation.
Yeah. Okay, I just saw it. I dropped it. I was looking through another big screen, so I didn't see him when he put it down there. So.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
All right. So, hey, so you got something to say anyway, since I have you up here? I know you do. Break the monotony. Give me a little bit of your impression of what you heard so far.
Okay. Well, bear with me. I have my little.
That's cool. Unless you want to wait for a while, that's up to you.
Yeah. Give me a second. Plus, I just came back from the dentist, so I'm not in top shape to talk. So.
All right, my man. Thank you. All right.
My bad.
Person that I was.
The relationship
so
is awesome, but the key you're bearing the man's children.
All right.
You got to be able to embrace that. We as men, we embrace accountability, and women have to do the same exact thing and not get angry.
Accountability. I'm not
and
angry.
feel like men are aggressive.
Let me stop it right there before we go on. Hey, what's going on, Eda, man? What's happening?
Not much. I see you looking at these single people. Give a single advice to stay single.
Hey, so I don't know how much you saw, man. What you got any opinion, or how much did you see, and what's your opinion?
I just came in like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
I do agree. Kind of what I saw in the last 5 minutes is people want to be corrected the way that they want to be corrected. You know, when I started hearing people talk about like the tone police, like you're 100% right. But I didn't like how you delivered it. Well, you need to get the fuck out your feelings.
Yeah.
Get out your feelings, because you was wrong and somebody needed to correct you. And if you weren't being wrong, you wouldn't need it to be corrected in that moment. And I think so many women don't understand that. I'm correcting you because you was wrong. How you gonna try to make me wrong when you the one wrong in the situation? And I think women just gotta see that. They gotta see that you wrong, suck it up, take it on the chin, and do better so you don't have to get corrected so often.
Hey, listen, man, you know, I agree with you, but I have some caveats to that, because I used to think exactly what you just said. But you've been on him show before, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't ask you. I know you have. The point is, they had this kind of discussion about how you deliver the medicine, and is it 100% that it doesn't matter the way we deliver the message? And from the standpoint of, is delivering the message what you're trying to get across, or getting to the person, getting through to the person, the most important? You know what I'm saying? And so from that standpoint, they had a whole panel discussion on that.
Well, yeah, but it's a difference. So say for example, if I'm trying to get through to a person, right, that is a stranger, I might have to be mindful. But no, I'm gonna deliver my wife. See, the one thing about when you marry,
okay,
you ain't going nowhere. Now I get this new place where people going somewhere and they can run from the situation. But if you're in a marriage, y'all plan on being together forever, you can't run from the situation. So I think even when I done heard my wife say things, and I done said things that might not been delivered in the right tone, I asked myself the question, what was my wife's intentions? And she asked, what was my intention by saying it? Because
Okay.
I'm never trying to do anything to hurt you. I'm trying to make you better because I look at us as one, like we're part of each other. So that's the whole point that I try to help people understand is the tone really doesn't matter if a person's coming from love. And I know we don't believe in love over here, but if a person's like speaking from a place from their heart, like we got to get out of this tone thing. Now, if a person's goal is to hurt you and they coming from like a hate or an envy point of view, that's a whole nother conversation.
I got you. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So let's get a little bit more about this because it's a little bit more dialogue with the sister here with the braids. She says a couple things that I want to talk about.
Aggressive and feel like men are aggressive when they're delivering what they're trying to say. Like, no, I wasn't disrespectful on the show, right? And maybe I could have delivered a little bit softer, but
And
that's
then
not
James,
the route that I chose.
you wanted to say something,
brother. The way you've
Hold
been
on
talking.
1 second. James is gonna go.
I wanted to say something about that. I understand both sides. You know what I mean? Like for me, I don't care if a female has a starting lineup. You know what I mean? Like I've dated girls that have multiple kids, you know, and I think that men think one of two ways. One is like, okay, you made horrible decisions. And then the other downfall could be, you know, these are extra mouths to feed or bills, you know.
All right. So either man, let me finish.
And for me, I love kids, you know, like I'm a kids person, so I don't mind dating a woman that has kids. So that's all I wanted to say is like.
Can I say something?
Yeah, before you go and before you say something, sweetheart, let me just say this. I call that guy what he just said. I think he was simping out, right? But I know that there are guys that don't mind kids. So I know you didn't mind either, man, because you had a plan. But that guy, something he said that, you know, I think he's like playing to the audience. You know?
Yeah. See, that's the problem. When I say certain things about, I believe if a baby mama is your best option, you should take her, right? People knock me for saying stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I know you do. I know you get it. I know you get it.
The problem is when I say things, people see him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm nowhere close to me and this man is not even in the same stratosphere, in my opinion, right?
That's why I had to say it the way I said it, man. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but that's the point is that it's not just about a woman with child. Like I know I talked to my homeboy. He said he was about to get with this woman with children. I told him he's out of her mind because she was a 4, maybe 5 at best. The women with kids that I'm talking about, we talking about she might be 8, 9. She's top of the line. Like she got like her kid, she got to bring something to the table that outweigh her having kids. So I'm not telling men to get with average women with 3, 4 kids. That's crazy to me. So that's the point that I want people to understand is that I think he's just trying to get some ass. He said, man, I gotta anybody. He said, anybody got kids here? This might be my opportunity to go tonight. But I don't think he like women. But I know we don't supposed to say that as men. But he don't. I don't feel the masculine energy coming off this young man. But that's just my opinion.
All right, so we got you took Dirty Folks. Hey, what's going on, Dirty Folks? What's happening, man?
What's going on?
Go ahead, you go ahead first, Lit. Not Lit, Dirty Folks, what you got, man? How much did you see?
I probably slid in about 5-10 minutes ago, bro.
Okay.
You go with the braids.
She's not finished yet. Why don't you save it, man? Because she ain't finished yet, man. You're gonna have something to say, but you can say, go ahead.
No, I mean she got on clothes, so I know everything she said not gonna make sense, bro. Here's one thing, bro.
Go ahead.
I listened to her talk a little bit as much as I could, you know, before I blocked out. Because you know I hear girls as white noise because I can't have sex with them if I listen to them because then we'd be frightened. But men need to do a better job at understanding they're talking to adult-sized toddlers. Like women have the aptitude of 4-year-olds. If she got a college degree, she might be 11, but they're still a toddler. So You're treating them like adults, thinking they can make decisions and thinking you could talk rationally to them and all that. But it's like talking to a 4-year-old child that wants some candy, and you're trying to explain they can't have candy before dinner or it'll mess up their stomach. And they don't want to hear that. They just want to hear, I want candy. Men don't do a great job of being patriarchs to the adult-sized toddlers. And that's how she got 3 kids. But because here's the thing, and I was on somebody else's show, I ain't gonna drop the name, but
okay, go ahead.
And they were talking about how most black men don't have kids and most black women do, so black men must be incels. And I'm like, no, black men are sleeping with them. They're just not knocking them up. She got 3 kids by 3 baby daddies. That's an intimacy and a not companionship. Inability to pair issue. But she slept with way more than 3 dudes. It's not like she was only with 3 dudes and it was 1 shot, 1 kill, and those 3 relationships didn't work out. She only counts them 3 dudes because she got kids out of it. Because they wouldn't count it if she didn't, right? So she been on these streets for a minute, probably since like 6th grade. She been in these streets since 6th grade.
She got more to say, but hold on, Lit. Would you got something to say up there? Lit, I see you pop up.
I'm gonna read this whole damn panel, the damn riot act. First, I'm gonna start off with the little Oriental black chick, the chick who always talking about she's a dancer or a stripper and she don't want nobody to judge her. Baby, if you don't open your mouth and tell nobody, would nobody know? You know what I'm saying? It's like every interaction we get with her, she just takes an opportunity to tell everybody that she's a dancer. To me, that's let me know that, hey, you ain't gonna be no priority, but I'm still gonna do this until you pay up. Nobody's gonna pay you to get up out of your foolishness. You know what I'm saying? You're already low value as it is, you know? And then she gonna sit there and try to sprinkle some Jesus on it to make it seem like it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Tell me something. Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. I took my clothes off and Willie James told me so. You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. You know, Jesus said, go and sin no more. That's what he said, man. But these women want to sit up here and take it and twist it up. Now, to the brother with the red hat on, the sister that's getting engaged, shout out to them, man. Right. Because they seem like they're the only ones who got their head on straight. They made the necessary adjustments. He said that he had kids. She said she didn't want none. And they turned around and said, hey, let's make this thing work out. They worked it out. Shout out to them, man. To the little dude with the toddler pants on with these Usher Boy 11s, number 1s, he need to go sit down somewhere, man. If you're going to say you don't want no woman with no kids, you need to stand on business, man. And quit around here trying to talk about, well, you know, if the vibe is right. You know who do that? Women. Just single time. Women do that shit all the time. You know, if the vibe is right. The vibe got all these women with all these different baby daddies too, you know. Instead of saying, let's go back here to the dude with the purple on. The dude that looked like a chocolate leprechaun with this little small hat on. That's Mr. James Pies back there. This man ain't trying to doggone find nobody. He's trying to sell some pies. As a matter of fact, this is the only time I have heard this dude, and he has not tried to promote his pie business. That's the femininity that you hear, either, man. That's what you hear. He's in there cooking pies all damn day long. Sweet as hell. You know what I'm saying? and not only that, this chick with this Dragon Ball Z wig on, R-Pain that you call it, she need to go and get somewhere with that foolishness, man. My whole thing is this, you said it earlier that your wife takes time out to pamper herself, to take care of herself. You know what I'm saying? These women ain't trying to hear that. They too busy trying to be damn bosses and get out here in the street, run up and down. They don't even have time to take care of themselves. That's why most of them on damn psych medicine. And that's half of them got kids with all kind of baby daddies and all type of foolishness. But they want somebody to sit up there and take them as they are, as they judge you for your height and your lack of whatever the hell you got. Exactly. How dare these heifers? You know what I'm saying? They want you to sit up there and put a ring on that foolishness. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know why? Because they want you to be their what? Ain't nobody got time to be your damn special friend. How about you do what you need to do from the beginning and be a damn ground woman and stand on damn business? That's all I got to say.
There you go. Hey, listen, I know, boss man, are you back? I don't know if you want to get in because I want everybody to pay attention to the chick in the braids. Once I start her last few words to my man, it's gonna be something to talk about. I don't know, boss man, you there? You got something, or you still indisposed? Wow, he probably still is. Well, let's finish this. All right, so let me go, and she's got something else to say.
Brian, I don't think your delivery was 100% wrong, but there is a difference between you as a type of man and there's another type of man. There's two different types of men. It's your preference, and it's a man that knows that he comes into this world to be a leader, protector, provider, who also knows that you're going to take care of a family as a whole. It doesn't matter if they're your kids or some. It takes a village to raise these kids. I didn't take any judgment, but if you prefer a woman with one kid or you want some more with more kids, that's on you. You're just not my person, and I'm not mad at you, and I'm not even mad at the world, and I don't give a fuck about anybody. If we can keep it G,
let's start. Okay, I don't. She looks like. She looks like it because I saw her IG, and she works out like a big dog, right? But she got that pouch there, and I'm saying, well, the way she works out, that should be a little flat, but she might be having another baby. She actually could be. I don't know, but that little paunch there is in her IG pictures too. It looks a little bit bigger now.
Girls who talk that slow know how to do Kegels. That's all I got, bro. Look. For real, because that's that poetry slam, and all girls that do poetry hoes, right? That's that poetry slam cadence. If you don't like me, man, like it sounds like Jill Scott. Like she got the whole, she trying to Erykah Badu a nigga, but she can't make them change clothes. She get the baby, but they don't wear beads. Like, bro, and she cute, but she dumb.
She is cute, yeah. All right, so let me say this though. Let me just say this, okay? She's stupid. Yeah. She says to my man, there's two types of man: a guy like you, and the kind of man who's a leader, provider.
Man, what type of foolishness is that, man? I'm gonna tell you what she needs to do. What she needs to do, she needs to learn how to do this.
Oh man, wait a minute, come back over here
and quit making all these damn kids, man.
Yeah, I swear. I mean, so. I got to thinking about what she said to him, and I just, when you try to put two and two together, she has no accountability for the fact that she spread her legs wide open for three random dudes, none of which are in the picture for any kind of relationship, right? That's why she got three. And on her Instagram, one of those kids is bigger than they're like, I think, three boys and whatever, and they maybe age from 6 to 12 or 13 or 14, whatever. But what I started thinking about when I listened to these ladies on the internet, and I used to say that black women in general, I used to use the word hate black men, but that's not true. It's not true. They hold us in contempt. The black women of today have contempt for black men. And what I mean by that, and when they say, well, not everyone, the majority of women, because the ones who don't have contempt for us, they don't speak up enough. We got a few. But what I'm saying is that when you think about it, is that the contempt means that you have disdain or disapproval of a person, right? And just you don't consider them worthy of anything that's good. So the fact is that when 3/4 of our black women have children out of, before they're married or out of wedlock, that goes to say that they don't think any man is worthy of having his own legacy from the standpoint. It's just crazy. If you want to put their disdain for us in a sentence, it would go kind of like this. Black men are the poster boys for being dusty and broke. And their core and at their core, as such, need to be treated with contempt and loathing, right? Because it seems like the average black guy has to deal with shit that's otherworldly, right? From these ladies. I mean, the expectations are crazy, and you go on the internet, they have a lot of bad shit to say about us that we don't say about them, and she actually expects a top tier guy to say, forget the fact that you have 3 and maybe 4 babies from 4 different men. since I'm a leader and provider, I can overlook all of that, and I'm gonna take you and put you on the pedestal where you belong. I think she actually believes that shit.
Payne, let me ask you a question. Do you think she got to provide a baby in her belly right now?
No.
You know what?
So
bro?
why is she asking for something that she can't get a hold of? See, that's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. Let me tell you something. This right here, what she just told him, was weapons grade gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? There's two different men in this world. And then there's a provider male. You know what he should have said? There's two different type of women in this world. There's wives and the rest of you hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what he should have said.
That would have been a great comeback. Oh my God.
No. They let them get away with this foolishness because they're too busy trying to be gentlemen.
Here's the thing, bro. And I believe this in my soul, right? And everybody be mad at me, be like, misogyny, he should be gay. Look, let me tell you something. I don't think women come in black, first of all, right? So I've learned early to don't treat black women like regular women. You gotta treat them like niggas that you want. You gotta almost penitentiary sex them, right? Like it's like dealing with a nigga. So I don't pay attention to that. Like, let's say the first baby is an oopsie baby. Once a woman has an oopsie baby, she starts looking for a provider. Everything she say a man's supposed to be, all the dudes that's in her friend zone, those are the guys that they look after. So that means the last two babies, or at least the second baby, was a provider male, right? There is no great male because women compare black women, compare themselves to men, and then compare men to God, but they hate God. They rebuke God. Right. So everything they do is sleeping with the enemy, and I will sleep with the enemy, but I know they're the enemy, right? I'll choke them, and they'll have an orgasm, and they think it was part of asphyxiation sex, but no, bitch, I was really trying to kill you because you talk too much, right? I spoon with them. They think I'm sweet. They're like, oh, he's so romantic. No, I want to make sure you don't move. Like, I really do think, because I know I'm sleeping with the enemy, right? I mean, but Coochie is delicious. If Coochie wasn't delicious, they wouldn't have friends. That's why women can't be friends with other women, because they know they horrible people, right? Like, there is no good in the average black woman. 85% of them, because I want to hear not all. All right, 15% of y'all probably cool, and y'all 15% married. Cool. Anyway, they collect. I'm just saying, they collect marriage. Every cute girl be like, at least two. I've been proposed to at least twice. So you had at least two men that wanted to sacrifice their life for you, and you said, nah, I can upgrade. I'm gonna keep the baby, but I'm gonna ditch the man. So I'm gonna lower my stock while I think I'm finding a more qualified dude. Because girls are dumb. Y'all keep thinking they're smart, like they dumb. They go to college just to learn how to be gay. They dumb. So they do this dumb shit, and then y'all be like, yo, I'm gonna find a good. There is no good woman. There's no bad woman either. There's just trained women and untrained women, and black men are notorious at not training a women. You fight over women, but don't fight the woman. Like, if you choked her, she'll be happier. If you treat her like your child, when she beats her child in aisle 5, she says she beat her child because she love him. It hurt me more than it hurts you, right? Why don't you do that and tell her that? Yo, this hurt me more than it hurts you. So she sit her ass down.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, man. But again, she is a lot of women. Like I said, I think it's the programming on our women in general in the West from feminists has been a master class, and on the black women is something even greater than that.
Payne, I'm going to say something, and you might not agree with it.
But go ahead.
We got to stop blaming the programming, man, and start putting the responsibility where it lies. It's at the feet of the people who are actually doing it, man, the women themselves. Because the minute we always externalize something, that means we take the method of fixing it out of their hands. You know what I'm saying? It's just like saying, oh yeah, it's the program that's making them do it. Well, who we gonna get them to reprogram them? You know what I'm saying?
No, I do.
I'm like, why don't you just do right? You know what I'm saying? And not only that, what you should do is just say, hey, I'm not gonna deal with you, until you act right. And it needs to be across the board by all men. Yes, you're gonna have some dudes that's gonna hit it or whatever and make them feel all special and tingly inside. But guess what? Those are the guys who are not going to provide. They're going to be sitting up here like this glitter chick with a shiny disco ball belly and this other broad back here with this yellow doggone slingshot on as a top, thinking that she got 2 grown kids, and some dude gonna sit up here and stop what he doing with these young chicks to go back in and deal with her old ruly self. It don't make no sense. Yes, I've made mistakes. We don't have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here.
I agree with you, though. I agree with what you just said about the programming. But take black men, for example. Nobody's helping us get out of this programming but ourselves now that we have a voice, though. Right? So I'm not trying to take that agency away from them. Maybe I should say it differently. They need to wake up and break the program. They need to have more sisters coming down and say, "Listen, it's time to change the story."
No. How? No, because women have never changed. Women have been the same since eternity. Men changed. Men got weaker.
I disagree with you there 100%.
No, women didn't change. Women are what they always were. Like when I come to and I listen to these colors and they be like, "Yo, we need women like the 1950s." The 1950s women were the bra burning women that teach their baby booming daughters not to listen to men. They were married. My grandmother was burning bra. Like she was 40 years in our marriage. When I came to like, "Hey, grandma,"
it wasn't all women back then. So I don't disagree.
It wasn't all women with that. But it kind of was.
It wasn't most of them dirty. I don't agree with you, man. I was back.
You cannot agree. Your grandmother was the stepdaddy because your grandma was like, "Fuck these niggas." Look, and that's no disrespect.
I'm not arguing with you, but I'm saying you could be right, but you got to look at the numbers. Some of the women, or maybe a good portion, might be the bra burners, but what's going on today is a lot more advanced than what was going on back then.
No, it's a natural flow, bro. Look,
it's not natural. It's okay.
It's natural. What's not natural is they don't have a predator. They're a chicken. You're a fox. When the fox get told by the chicken not to kill y'all saw Lion King when he was walking around with Simba and Tuba. He's supposed to be eating. Simba's supposed to be eating. That's what's happening. You're getting taught by the prey not to be a predator. Men have gotten.
I agree with that part. I agree with that part.
Women understand. So
I agree with that part, but that's more true today than it was.
Yeah, but they've always been them. They've always been trying to put that in. Look, women have never had a choice in who they made it with until the 1960s. But that was because of the lessons they learned from mothers born in the 1920s and 1930s. You're looking at a group of women. Because like in the 1970s, that was stepdaddy season, right? You had movies like Claudine, all that, because you had a bunch of women who needed a man to step up because she had a baby in the 1960s under that free love Woodstock thing, right?
Let's bring it back to where we are today, because I don't want to disagree with you, because I think you're right, but it's not as simple as you're saying. No, the pill was invented and released in 1960 on a dime, and I think that changed a lot of things as well.
No, free love changed things. It changed the mentality, but women never liked you anyway. They like sex, but they don't like you. They never like you. Because as children, as adult-sized children, nobody wants to hear no. No is abuse to a woman.
Right. Well, this is what he's saying, OG. He just saying it's not a wildfire, but we can't forget that the fire was still started by y'all.
I agree with that.
That's all he's saying.
I do agree with that. I do agree, but I disagree that I guess if the way you're saying it, and I think this is what, if you would have started by saying Eve was the first rebellious woman, then I would say, yeah, you're right. She was the first rebellious woman.
You know that, bro. That means that it's natural for women to rebel. Men have to step in and be like, you can't do that, and stand on it.
I agree with you. See, I'm in agreement with you there. I'm agreeing with you.
Here's the issue. Here's where men change. Men used to check their women. Now men check other men over their women, so she can feel free to be belligerent.
That's true.
Right.
That's true too.
That's the change.
No, that's the change right there. That's exactly right.
That's true.
When men decided to put their manhood based on women, that's the change, right? So you had that time in which in America, except for there were 26 towns burned over racism during Jim Crow. Out that 26 cities, 24 of them was over a woman, right? So you're talking Rosewood, you're talking about Black Wall Street, you're talking about what happened to Emmett Till. A bunch of them was over women. 2 weren't about women. It was one in East St. Louis that was about unions. There was one in Chicago that was over like whoever held the policies, right? But most of them was over women line. A lot of lynchings, right? A lot of picnickers, right?
Yeah.
Started because black women were sleeping with white men and got pregnant and was like, I want a beige baby. He was like, you better not have that baby. And you know, here's the thing with women. Women want to see every man dead that loves her, right? Because if I make her mad, I don't have to touch her. If I make her mad, she's like, I'm gonna get my daddy, I'm gonna get my brother, I'm gonna get my son if my son old enough. She's going to get the men that love her to be dead or in jail. For another man who may or may not love her to be dead or in jail. And then at the end of the day, she's just gonna get another man. She's gonna replace. She's always trying to get you killed. Like that's a woman nature. Men's nature is to be like, nah, I ain't doing that. That's dumb. Like, what did you do? But men have lost that. Now you got 12-year-old boys talking about, I gotta buy my mama a house. Why? Because she couldn't fry chicken and shut up long enough for your daddy to buy one. Like the whole game, males changed. Women have always been arbiters of chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, and shout out to the panel and everybody that want
What's
to
going
speak
on,
to my
big boy?
OGs, you know what I'm saying, before I start talking. But that right there, Beans, you know what I'm saying? I get exact. I mean, not Beans. This
He must be
this ain't
Dirty
Beans.
folks.
This my nigga Dirty folks. My bad,
Yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah. That's really what it is. Y'all Chicago niggas. But yeah. But I'm with you, Dirty folks, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, these young men right now, bro, we not hearing none of that no more. I promise you, bro. I promise. Look what little homie doing. Look what homeboy. He about child age, a little, you know, he older than me. But you see how he coming at the women, and that's really why it's a frenzy. For so long, men was quiet, you know, stepdaddy season. I don't say nothing back, you know, things like that. Now, you know, men will say something to his woman, and I'll check the nigga if he want to get out of line. You get what I'm saying? So it's a whole difference now. Like the game is different now, bro. And these women starting to see. That's why they really want us to, you know, shut up and be quiet, because for so long they seen their mamas make these mistakes and still be able to get along and get a man, and you know what I'm saying, still be able to go on about their life. But now this stuff is becoming cease, man. You know, the young men, we not being there with no more. We just probably fuck on you, but what's that? You know, ain't no man in the house like that or things
I'm
like
gonna
that.
tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like
That's
this.
the real right now, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this, young blood. Let me tell you something, young blood. Don't waste your time.
They call him Young Blood. That's crazy.
Don't waste
I like
your
it.
time. And listen, I'm telling you, don't waste your time, bro. Don't waste your time, because what happened is she gonna tell you, you know what? And next thing you know, you down there child support coat, man. You know what I'm saying? With a piece of, you know what, you didn't want to deal with. So slow your roll, man.
for sure. Well, just like I'm married, you know, I'm married right now. You know
Oh,
what I'm
you
saying?
good then? You straight?
Yeah. I got out the game like 2-3 years ago. I got out the game. You know what I'm saying? But when I was in the game, I always was.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Big West.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. What top
Let me ask you. Okay, so you got married 3 years ago. Okay, so but 3 years ago the dynamic was just as horrific as it is now. How did you find your wife?
Man, my wife been rocking since probably 2013.
Okay.
2013, 2014. So yeah, that's really what it was. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, you know what I'm saying? I've been a firm believer in anything. If you do anything, you gotta go through phases and courses, you know what I'm saying? Before I became a postmaster, I had to go through training. Before I got my FedEx, you know what I'm saying? I had to go through training, I had to get into EOC. So I don't see why you think you about to get into my life and try to be in my life and don't go through no training. That's not what we do around here. So my baby went through training. She did good, and she won the course. She graduated. You get what I'm saying?
Yo, hold
she
on.
graduated.
Who talking? What's your name, bro?
This Big West, this D-Town Big West from Dallas,
Hey,
Texas,
look,
you
bro.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, brother, that's how I really found out.
Thanks for the answer.
Do you know how many times every show I tell niggas train your toddler? My intro say train your toddler. Salute to you. There's never been a position that you wanted you didn't have to have training for, ever. So if you want to be a wife, I got to train you how to be that, because girls don't know shit. I got to tell you what the fuck to think. Don't try to think. That's not your fucking job. Your job is to feel and to know. You know shit, you feel shit. You can't think. 3 steps ahead, that's not your fucking job. I'll tell you what to think. You tell me what you know, I'll tell you what to think. You tell me how you feel, I'll tell you your feelings is wrong. And then we'll eat chicken. Look, I salute you, bro. That's real. Look, You know how I know what he's saying ain't wrong? And it's about 10 years ago. How old are you, bro?
Big Rex, he's asking you.
I'm 31. Just turned 31. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
So
I just turned
about
31.
about 12 years ago, I'm talking to a 12-year-old. So he about 24 now, right? I'm at my boy crib at a cookout. I don't know how I ended up at a grill at his crib, but I'm on the grill. His son come out there and just out the blue was like, when I get older, I'm marrying a white girl. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. So I'm like, does your dad know? Because I was at my boy crib. I'm like, does your dad know? He was like, nah, I ain't tell my dad. I was like, I'm the first person you told. Like, all right. I think you should tell your dad. So, my boy come outside. I said, yo, your son want to tell you something. So he tell the son, yo, dad, when I get older, 12 years old, prepubescent, virgin, never been with a girl. He said, when I get older, I'm marrying a white girl. His dad said, why would you do that? Your mama black, your grandma black, your sister black. He said, yeah. And my mama mean, my grandma mean, and my sister mean. The white girls are still nice to me. I want to be treated nice. Shorty changed my dating preference. He a 12-year-old. I was like 33. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm rolling with Shorty. Pinky toes to the end, nigga. You right. Nobody else. I don't mind fighting my food, but once you kill it, stay dead. Don't die and then come back to life like, motherfucker, you try to kill me? Like, I don't need that. Look, when I started dating interracially, which kind of accidentally, I was just on the road, right? Ypsilanti, Michigan, South Dakota, Iowa. Just, you kill what you hunt. I'm in those zones, right? It's the eye test. You know when you give a child a look and they sit down, every man got that eye. Like, men know you about to fight, kids know to sit down. I didn't realize it until I started dating white. When I was dating is loosely, but when I was rocking with white girls and they say some wild shit, I give them the eye there, shut up. I was messing with this Puerto Rican girl down in Fort Worth, Texas. Because I was on my world tour. I ain't no passport, bro. I'm a highway, bro. But I'll go every
I'm out, man. I got a show to go to. Dirty folk, y'all holding, man. Holding the road, man.
I got you. I'm from
y'all be good, man.
All right, thanks for coming up, Lit. All right.
Anytime.
So I'm messing with all these girls, and all these girls, when they get on my nerves and I give them the eye, they shut up. The Puerto Rican girl brought to my attention because I gave her the eye and she went in her bedroom. She went in the room for an hour, came back like, you good? And I'm like, why you leave? She said, I know that eye. I got a daddy. That's the eye he gave me before he whipped me.
And hey, before you go on though, brother, we okay. So all right, so let's make a long story short on this one.
Make a long story short. So when I look at black girls and I give them the eye, they be like, who you looking at like that? And they square up like they want to fight.
Yeah, they do. I mean, listen. I don't know. Hey, Eater Man, are you going? I think he might be going. Boss Man, you going? You still indisposed? I just want to make sure we hit everybody. So I know that's still seeming. But I hear you, dirty folks. One of the things back to this, and this is the last lady. I was just going to let her finish off, and then we can go ahead and just chop it up for the rest. See how some reactions go. Just hold on for a second.
I take care of my kids. They're well taken care of. I'm an independent woman, and I deserve a strong man who's ready to take care of a household. I'm not saying that that's not you or no other man in this world. Everybody got their own opinion, and I respect you 100%. It is what it is.
And let me hold on. Wait, hold on. And I respect that. I appreciate that. Right? It's gonna be a special type of man that's gonna come in and take care of you and your unit. That's gonna take care of you and your unit, right? Because most men want to start their own family, right? You know what I'm saying? So why would we come in and be a stepdad when we know if you have 3 kids, then I'm gonna be the 4th? You're gonna look at me like the 4th, even if I'm taking care of the house, right? Because they're not mine.
Because you're not a baby daddy or a husband. You're not gonna be a baby daddy.
Head of household. It's a different.
I understand that, but I'm not their real father, right? So I'm not their biological father, right? So, and things come with that, right? It comes with, you may feel like, I'm not raising your sons right, or you can't.
I'm a dead this right now. I had a baby daddy that told me in front of my child, I am not his daddy. I don't need a nigga like that. And I said nigga. I need a man who knows who's going to come into a whole house. He's going to take mine as his. He's going to take me as his partner. It's one, honey. When you find a wife, you find a good thing. I'm not living in two.
This one call me. What's up?
Well, it was just, it's just the thing. Can you hear me, OG? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
And I heard you, I heard you laughing back there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just asinine and so out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you mad that this guy told you that they're not my kids. Newsflash, they're not his kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, newsflash, they're not his kids. And now you're trying to put that on him like, I don't need a man like that. Like, and just like homeboy saying, baby girl, you need a man to come in and take care of your units. Why are women trying to make it seem like now it's not a package deal? See, OG, at first, what you used to hear all the time, we a package deal. Me and my babies, we package deal. But now, since the men said, oh, if you a single baby mama, we not trying to deal with you. Oh, now you don't got to take care of the child now. Now you just got to worry about me. Come on, man, let's get off the gas, people. You know what I'm saying, OG? Like, let's get off the gas, but you got it. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Just a little bit more here. Wait a minute. Just give it a couple more minutes. The PH the Resistance is coming up.
Society or social media. This show, and I appreciate you guys because this is real life.
Mm-hmm.
You show me the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say too much more, but
if you guys were to get together, hypothetically speaking,
who?
Yeah, I'm just hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, you and Brian.
You and Brian. If you and Brian were to get together, hypothetically speaking, can he put his hands on your children?
What? Put his hands on my children?
That's a real question.
Let's word that a little.
Well, we know what we're talking about. I mean, Brian, you understood what I was saying, correct?
Correct.
If your kids is acting up,
can
he whoop your kids?
If
Like he
they
would whoop
need
his
it.
own son.
If they need it.
Cat.
I mean, let's be real.
You just
This
have
ain't
to
about
be
that, but let's be
If
real.
you're gonna whoop somebody else's kids, you just got to be ready for that repercussion.
The afterward.
Exactly. What
You
comes
feel
after
me?
that? Because as a father, nobody's gonna whoop my kids.
Exactly.
But if
barely whoop
I
my
am the
kids.
step parent of somebody else's kids, I'm a whoop them.
But you're not
And
gonna
I
whoop 'em for
understand
nothing.
that's double.
Kids,
No,
Different
because
ways to discipline
I'm ready
kids
to fight
besides
for mine.
whooping them. Thank
I'm
you.
ready
I
to
got a
fight for mine,
5-year-old. My
so-
son has never had a whooping.
Listen, I'm ready to
he
fight
probably
for
bad
mine,
as hell,
so
too.
I'm going to check you on that.
Cool.
And if dude wanted to check me on that, he has that right. And that's all I'm saying.
And,
is you
and those
gotta-
are the issues that
It's the
we
way to
deal.
do
And
it.
those are the issues that we deal with being a step parent. Like, and
Those
another
are the
thing that I want to
insecurities.
address is that, like Brian, I've been hearing you talk since we've been here all day. Like your demeanor hasn't changed. So I want to say, like, I don't think that you were aggressive at all. I think that you were being you.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate
Exactly.
that authenticity that
Exactly.
you have been bringing. And I still got a couple more jokes in the back of my head for your ass too.
Okay, y'all, let's wrap this up. And so Chanel, you were like the queen of facial expressions.
All right, so that's that, right? I mean, so that I wanted to stop it there. Oh, you want my man cut out. All right, so listen, I'll just tell you what bullshit that these ladies are talking about, man. Okay, I see you in the back. Where are you? All right. Hey, listen, boss man, you ready? Come on up, man. What you got to say? You up there?
This is really tough for me. I just came back from the dentist today, so I'm not able to really speak entirely. As it comes from me, coming from both being a stepdad and a bio dad who has had to come into a household and take over a household and yes, be an iron fist in a household. And yes, lay down a law, and yes, have to provide some corporal punishment. I'm not taking care of kids that I cannot discipline. That's not going to happen.
I hear you.
Okay, I can if I can't beat them, if I can't whoop them, I cannot feed them, nor can I house them, nor can I clothe them. That's not a thing for me. And you cannot expect a man to come in. You cannot expect a man to come in and do his job effectively if he cannot control the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if he cannot command respect in a way that he desires or wills to have that respect. And you're going to have to give him and lend him that respect in the way that he desires to do so. And if he does not do it in a way that you desire it, then you're going to have to make a decision to part ways with that person. But you cannot then belittle him or disrespect him or besmirch him in any kind of way, and tell him that he is less than, or for that matter, disallow him or disavow him in any kind of way, because it's going to put him in that situation of having responsibility with no authority. And this is the issue, is that you want to speak French with all the we in the beginning, but you want to also bring in all the bifurcation towards the end. Whenever a man says, well, if I can't do this, then no, I can't have that. So it amazes me where, women in this situation, not all women, but women in this situation don't understand the repercussion of having kids without having a unit, and don't understand what it takes and what it's going to take to allow a man to come in, and the sacrifice it takes to allow a man to come in and be that role that they are wanting a man to be. Mm-hmm. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
I agree. Now, and clearly, I mean, so this lady who said she would allow a guy to come in, you could just tell she was capping on that one.
Capping.
Yeah, just 100%. Ain't no way. It's just a bullshit. So, one of the things that I remember a few weeks back when they had this spinster, and I call her a spinster, but the chick who was saying all kinds of bullshit to Cam Newton and Nick Cannon. And the reason why I really had took a lot of problems, I had a lot of problems with the women, all women coming after those two guys. What I really figured out is they're mad at Cam and Nick Cannon because they can't be controlled. They don't want to be controlled by the same old bullshit that a lot of regular guys are. And it's their money that makes the difference for them. They don't want to be tied down by one woman. They'd be crazy to get married in the West. They'd be absolute crazy to marry anybody. So I see you back, Big West. So I understand a little bit, and I understood this for a while, but it's all about control. I mean, a lot of ladies want to control black men. One, they hold us in disdain and contempt, and they want to control us. And we're seeing it in a lot of different ways. This election is another kind of way to see whether you're seeing women coming out and the sycophant, step and fetch it, Django white men who's saying if you don't vote for the brown woman, you somehow lose your black card. Well, I think the opposite is true. So I don't know. More and more men need to stand up and say, listen, we ain't taking the bullshit no more. And I think the ripple in the force is black men starting to say, you know what, we deserve a whole lot better than the shit that you're giving us.
Well, just like you say.
Your mic is something's up with your mic. Go ahead. Try again.
My mic checking?
Yeah, a little, yeah, so we can't hardly hear you. Go ahead, try it again, man. Yeah, you got to come back in. I don't know, man. Dirty folks, what do you say? What do you think, man?
I think the opposite. I understand what my man was saying. I think the opposite. I don't put any umbrance on women. It's not that I don't blame women. I just know to blame a woman is like blaming a single child, and you come in the kitchen.
Yo, you can hear me, brother?
Yeah, but better, right? Yeah, but much better.
Like to blame a woman is like you got one child and you walk in the kitchen, there's milk on the floor, and they be like, my imaginary friend did it. Nothing's women's fault, but you know who did it, right? Women have never successfully chosen a man. That's why they were arranged marriages. That's why they were shotgun marriages. That's why when girls snuck out the window and got pregnant, you sent her down south and then said it was your baby and that was his big sister. Women have women's judgment is shit. Like women say they have intuition, but when they describe intuition, if you listen to them, it's hindsight. Everybody got 20/20 hindsight.
But that's the thing, there, dirty. And I agree with you, but this the thing. Women has been enabled for so long from men basically trying to give them excuses, trying to say that they're not intelligent, they
From men.
are emotional. You get what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
But
From men,
when
that's
it
just a
right,
woman. You can't pay attention. That's just a woman. I
right,
get you, but it
right.
all
But
comes
when it
from
come
men.
down to, but right, but when it come down to, and that's why I'm saying everything is becoming more everything is changing, is because now these men, because you gotta think about it, a lot of these men grew up with women. You know, a lot of y'all was always with papa or with uncle or whatever, so y'all wasn't
I was a
around no
latchkey
woman
kid.
like that. You
I
get what I'm saying? But now a lot of us grew up with women. So now what I'm saying is men, they don't see it as getting out of line when I get on a woman ass now.
now,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what, bro?
You get what I'm saying?
I do,
Dirty folks.
because
Talk
when
to
we
me.
did it, like my section in Chicago, right? Our little section, my little neighborhood, not the whole country. I can't speak for everybody. My little neighborhood. None of us really rock with our moms like that, right? Because we understood that matriarchy is slavery. Like women really only call your name when they want something. Like your mom wants you to take out the garbage or something like that, and your girl wants you to do something you don't feel like doing, right? Or to interrupt your fun because you having too much fun, just minding your business, right? Like there is no time that you hear your first and middle name at the same time. You think, yo, this is gonna be a good conversation. Never in your life, right? So
Right.
you we already knew that. Like our quest was to find a woman who didn't remind us of our mothers and our sisters. Your quest is every woman is my mother and my sister, right? Like y'all don't even have the benefit of having a civil rights or silent generation, whatever you want to call it, greatest generation, same generation, whatever. Grandmother, like you don't even have, like y'all grandmas is baby boomers. The most, bro, they can't even cook. Like
Stop
I'm not
getting on
even a
the
baby
bait. No,
boomer
I hear
slander,
you.
but I'm
I
just
know, go
saying,
ahead.
like they don't even like when I talk to my little homies, it's like 23, 24, and I'm like, yo, my mom is a boomer, my aunts are boomers, my sister, she Gen X, but she borderline boomer, she 1960 Gen X, right? Like,
Yeah.
yo, like I know how they get down, bro, and like I didn't like it. I didn't like the slavery feel of it. And
All
then
right.
you had the men like, listen to your mama, happy wife, happy life. And I'm like, yo, this ain't working. I'm not happy. If I'm not happy, everybody gonna die.
Hey, Dirty, let me ask you a question, okay? Everybody up here, you know, because I'm not going to get into my baby boomer thing, all right? Can you guys tell me, there were 76 million baby boomers. And I guess the loudest of us are the ones who I guess failed the world, because I don't identify with none of this shit that you guys are saying. And, you know, I really don't. I was born in 58, so I'm still officially a baby boomer, but I'm close to the youngest, the oldest Gen Xers, because that was 64. So, but what I'm saying is, I don't recognize the reality that you guys are talking about. But so many different people say the same fucking thing. A lot of it has to be true. But in my reality, but what I'm saying is, I don't, you know, I was never a happy wife, happy life guy.
Right, R-Pain. Well, let me ask you
okay.
this, R-Pain. Hold on. Let me ask R-Pain this. How old you is, R-Pain? Just,
I'm 60. I'm 66.
Okay, 66. See my grandmother, my Mima, she's 76. So that's 10 years ahead of you. You get
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I see in the difference is in generation is my Mima, 76, she was 21 when she met my papa. You get what I'm saying? Papa
Yeah.
was probably like 30. I think she was 21. Papa went to Louisiana and met her mother and father and got her hand. My Mima was a virgin when she met my papa. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what dirty folks saying, as far as cook, clean, bacon, hold a man down, all that. I grew up in that era of those type of women. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like 13, 14, 15 brothers and sisters. Everybody is married. The boys and girls, they all married. You get what I'm saying? They all married till death do us part. So I grew up in that age. But when I started growing out, like let's say my baby mother, You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My first baby mother. Her mom, she's from Louisiana too, but her grandma is 66. Totally the whole when I say the whole mindset is fucking different from what my Mimo is, bro. I'm telling you, OG, the whole mindset is fucking different.
No, that's true.
So I gotta see, okay, well, that is a 12, 15-year gap. So I guess that's when it started. You get what I'm saying?
No. But you know what's so crazy? Our culture moved so quick between 1950 and 1980. Because, you know, America really died in 1990. We live in a slow death. But all our clothes, all our music, it's 1993 in a loop. But between 1950 and 1980, the nation changed so quick that I was born in the late 70s. And I have nothing in common. And I'm the keep a nigga baby. So my parents was 30 when they had me. But they had the rest of their kids at 18, 21. You know, when you're supposed to have kids, right? And I watched all my cousins and my sisters 10, 15 years older than me. Bro, nothing alike. 1960s Gen X and 1970s Gen X, nothing alike. Like 1970s Gen X and 1980s millennials, damn near alike. But 60s and 70s, nothing alike. 50s and 60s, nothing alike. Like every decade, a whole new culture moved in. So I agree with you on that.
I agree with that. A lot of outside influences touched a lot of the shit that we're talking about, but we're not getting into those details. But dirty folks, I need to ask you something, man, because you can't leave. I mean, you can, but I would rather. What do you see as not the future, but what can I guess from the man's standpoint? What do you think we need to do? And let's just keep it on what men should do for themselves to navigate the way things are today. And anybody out there, hit the like button, please, if you have. Yeah.
Well, he said it, but I'm gonna expand on it. 20 men need to expatriate themselves from black women for like 3 years, and just the guys need to build alone. And this is why I say it. Because women talk all that stuff, but women need men. Men really don't need women. Men want sex. But with clothes on, women really don't have that much value, right? You don't enjoy their conversation with clothes on. Like they ain't talking about nothing. So men need to expatriate for like 3. And women will chase you. If you run away from women, they will chase you. That's how they play the game, right? If you chase them, they'll run. If you run away, they'll chase you because they still need you. They just want the attention. Right? Yeah. That's why you can't be in the crib playing the PlayStation by yourself, looking happy, without her telling you what's going on in her life. Why you shouldn't be enjoying yourself if she not your enjoyment. That's how they are.
I agree with that.
So men need to go somewhere where men train men on a new culture. Like a lot of black men blame everything on the system, and I'll say cool, but you can create your own system. You don't have to play this game. Football in America and football in France are 2 totally different games. You don't have to play this game.
Right.
You can succeed for a minute, and then you'll find out who your allies are, right? Like when they say black men have no allies, it's because your black women tell you everybody who want to help you is your ops. They'll tell you to hate white people, and then they get social services and food stamps and anything else from the people they tell you to fight. They'll tell you the people over there is your ops, but I've never met a girl who didn't have a baby by the ops. She a Crip chick, got a baby by a blood. She a church girl, got a baby by a vice lord. She GD, got a baby by a MS-13. They never stay in tribe, aka got a baby by a nigga in jail. They never stay with the group they supposed to be in. They've never been faithful to a tribe, and men have never enforced it because they never found love in their tribe. Black men are the most disconnected from America, yet American people in America.
I agree with that. I agree.
If you embrace what you are, fuck them hoes, they'll come. They give you all 3 hoes when they get back. Like, oh, I can't believe you left me. You want all 3 hoes and a friend? Yeah, 6 hoes. That's cool. They don't care. They don't care about nothing. They don't care about their body. After you break the seal, they don't care about their body. That's why they put anything in their body, vegetables, electric products. They don't care about their body. They don't care about your life. That's why every man that loved them has to die. They got to get their daddy, their brother, their oldest son. Somebody got to die for them to feel whole, right? For it to be a good day. They don't care about nothing, but you care about them. You need to be reprogrammed.
So I don't know if you were here. That's why I said I do believe that the one thing that I agree that the solution means that we definitely got to walk away. And the ones who are walking away, we already see a lot of men walking away, and we're starting to see the women chirp about that on TikTok and other places, and they're coming up with other excuses for that. But the fact is, I think the word that I use, I really believe that a lot of black women, even if they don't realize it, they just hold us as black men in contempt. They really think we're just disposable tools for them to use. And no matter how much we talk to them, they don't hear us. I mean, they hear us, but don't give a shit. Like, for example, we watched this show with 9 women on there, and 8 of them have white girl hair on their heads. And how many times black men say, well, we'd rather just see you, with natural hair. And they say, well, this is not for you. Well, then who's it for? And so I'm just saying, guys accept, and the problem is, because we want the booty, we accept whatever they give us. And, because men, they accept women. No.
That's true, but I think I need you think bigger. Think bigger, Payne. You're right. They don't care about men, but they don't care about them. They hate themselves. That's why they love to get choked. That's why they fantasy is 50 Shades of Grey and nigga taking it. They hate themselves. How can you love something that hate them? That's the problem. Men love. Only men love. They don't even love their kids for real. But only men love. You love them. They hate themselves. And then you try to make it work. Like, we got to build together. Nigga, you crazy. That's the problem. Women don't like each other. You say women don't like men. Women don't like each other. There's not a woman out here. Women get together for 2 reasons: to hate men or hunt men. Either they about to drink a bottle of Moscato and say how all men ain't shit, or they're about to go to the club and everybody get pregnant, or go on a girl trip to Mexico and come back single mothers. They hate men and hunt men. That's a recreation. Men can bowl, play video games, do nothing, watch football, drink beers with their friends, tell old man stories, be comfortable. Women have to hate men or hunt men in order to feel alive. So the whole thing is, it's not that they hate you individually. They hate themselves and they hate everything outside. A woman who finds a man, a black woman anyway, who finds a man that they like, will say, I don't fuck with them hoes. I ain't got no friends. Because you ain't have no friends. But if you break up with them, you'll find 7 girls to hate men with. That's the only thing they're good for, is hating and hunting. Never loving. Food is love, and they can't cook. They take pride and be like, I don't cook. That's slave work. Food is love. You've never been anywhere where love was that food wasn't. Not a funeral, not a wedding, not a reception, not a family reunion. Food is a holiday. Food is love, and you can't cook. So you can't love. You don't do the basics to show love. You can't even fool a nigga. Wait till a man heart through his stomach. Fuck his stomach. All right, GD. Everything about them is horrible because men don't enforce anything.
No, and okay, so that enforcement needs to show. It needs to come. So that's, I think we're starting to see a change. And I agree with you about the they hate themselves. I didn't call it hate, but the truth of the matter is the fact that they don't like their natural look is indicative of what you just said. That they don't like the way they look. They don't like their natural beauty, and it's sad. It's really sad. It's a psychosis, and I don't know how that shit. I don't know where to go with it. I mean, it's not for us to fix, but it's a shame. It really is.
Because they listen to other women. Imagine our Payne. You listen to us all the time, boomer bash, right?
Yeah.
And I like you as a person. Like, Payne, you my guy. That's why I came up. You my guy, right?
I appreciate that. Okay.
But I love my father. I love my dad. But he's still a boomer. He get on my fucking nerves. Like, if my dad wasn't my dad, I wouldn't talk to him. But he is my dad. I love him. I want to be the best. But god damn, he get on my nerves, right? So the boomer bash is a reflection of what we see, right? But it's not a reflection of who you are. Because I can still rock with you. But in general, and people can say the same thing about Gen X, right? Like, oh man, all y'all just shooting at niggas.
But dirty folks. What I'm thinking is you're some rejection on what you see, but I don't think you guys see it all. That's no.
We see what we see. Here's the problem. This is why we see what we see. But I'll get back to why we see what we see. What I'm saying is, so as a child, bro, everybody was the African booty scratcher. Everybody was a 4-eyed fool. Kids are cruel. Kids are cruel.
Right.
But nobody's more cruel to women because they live in perpetual toddlerhood. So they never stop being cruel. Right. So they're taught by women who hate themselves on how to hate themselves. When you talk about girls wearing weave at 30, they was wearing weave at 6. Their mama was fucking them up at 6. They were taught how to hate themselves. Men didn't teach them that. Daddy put two.
I know that. I know that.
Dad put two fucking afro puffs in your head and tell you to go out there and play. Women teach girls how to hate themselves. It's not a man problem, so it's not a man fix.
Oh, gee.
Go ahead. Yeah, Big West. Go ahead, man. I know you're popping in out. What, you in the car?
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the car now, man.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm be getting on, because I got a wife, man, and I got a family. They boys say, I guess I'm the only number they got. You hear me, guy? Leave. Okay? Everybody called me. You know what I mean? But yeah, what I was gonna say, man, what men should do, man, is just keep doing what we've been doing. You know what we're doing now. Stay vocal, man. You know, a man is vocal, man. A man gonna say what's on his mind, gonna say what's on his heart. Right or wrong or indifferent, you know what I'm saying? That's what men are here for, man. We're here to wake up, you know. So, and I think that's exactly what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Men got to just be a lot more vocal, man. You know, let it be known what's on your mind, what's on your heart, what's on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing for sure, two things she cannot never use against you is you didn't tell me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I understand a lot of men. It's just like, should I say this or things like that? You know, because I guess, but it's just like, I think one thing that my wife know that I won't lie to her. You get what I'm saying? And even if sometimes I have to catch myself like, damn, Wes, you shouldn't have said that. But at the same time, when I come back to it, that's exactly what I was supposed to say because that's who I am. You get what I'm saying? And my wife know who I am. So I'm just gonna give you an example, right? I had a stepfather. You get what I'm saying? My wife had a stepfather. You get what I'm saying? Okay. But I told my wife I would never be a stepdaddy. You get what I'm saying? Told that bluntly in her face. Well, you know, I understand the hypocrisy is because when she got with me, I had a baby already. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, she was. Well, I think my baby girl was 1. Amari was 1. I had got full custody of her. So yeah, she was 1, but she opened up to be, you know, the mother to my child, which I love her for that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I still stand on what I say is I wouldn't be no father to no stepfather to no other person's child. Because just like I told her and then like I always told myself, one, I didn't have a good example as a stepfather. You get what I'm saying? I feel like my stepfather was very docile and couldn't really be the man that he wanted to be because my mama was so dominant. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I seen that growing up. So I always told myself I would never put myself in that situation. I want children that's mine, right? You know what I'm saying? That's with my DNA. And then 2, if I'm gonna take care of anybody's children, I'm gonna take care of my own damn children. That's just how I feel about the situation.
Well, you know,
but I told her that it hurt. Well, let me say this. I told her that, and it did hurt her feelings when I did tell her like, nah, I ain't gonna be no stepfather to nobody else. I'm gonna take care of my own kids. It was like a shot to the face to her, but it's like as a man, if I don't stand for something, I'm gonna fall for anything. So it's just certain things that I gotta stand on, and I think women will respect men. It's not right.
You're breaking up again, but
how you feel about things? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. You had a little bad patch there, but I understand, and that's true. You got to stand on something. You know what? And I know women won't like this, but a father taking care of his own kid and a woman coming in is different than I think being a stepmother is different than a stepdad.
And that's a fact, OG, and that's why they explained to her too. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, it's just the what is called the double standards that we have to live in this world.
It's not a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
Okay, yeah, talk to me. I could have said the wrong thing. Let me know what is. Yeah.
It's a different standard. That's what a lot of people don't realize it's not a double standard. We live by different standards because men and women ain't the same. That's when women try to convince men that they could fuck like men can, and because we can do it, they could do it too. When's the last time you heard a 30-year-old man say, "God damn it, I'm all fucked up. I had too much pussy in my life"? No, but we got all these fucking women up here, man, with trauma because they have so much dick, right? Every trauma they have is at the tip of a man's penis. So we ain't wired like that. So we're not the same. The sexual encounter is not the same. It's not a double standard. It's a different standard. And feminism has told women that they're men and everything men can do, you can do. And it's been a lie. It's a big lie, and it's destroyed them. It's destroyed the women's psyche.
And even worse, that men have to act like women for you to act like a man. But you know what, though? I want to give a shout out to his wife, bro. You shout out to your wife, because I've had that conversation, right? I had a girl tell me before, true story. She said, "Man, I love your honesty, but honesty don't make my coochie wet." And I'm like, all right. Because a lot of, it's like the sapiosexual argument, right? Everybody want a smart man until they find a smart man and be like, now you want to be smarter than me? Like, what's my purpose then? Right? Like, everything that, and this is why women shouldn't choose their own man. And first of all, black women, don't change, because I be drunk sometimes and I just need some 45-minute cooch. But so don't never act like women. But that's why women shouldn't choose their own guy, because women don't really have discernment or judgment or anything, and they like the most negative thing, right? Black men have been programmed by their mothers and grandmothers to seek love, because they think women can love. Women can't love. You love. They reflect your love, but they can't love individually. That's why if which baby daddy they like, because they treat the kid of the man they actually love better than they treat other kids, because they don't like their kids. They reflect love. They don't have the ability to generate love. So when you look at men who have low body counts, it's because they're looking for wife material women. They're looking for love. They're looking for the hug they never got from their mom. When you look at men who have high body counts, it's because they're like, I know you ain't shit. I'm just here. I could be anybody, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. Get a drummer, son. Right? That's the difference. There are no, I ain't gonna say no. There's very few positive black bonding moments. There's a lot of trauma bonding moments. There's very few uplifting, she inspires me, I'm about to lasso the moon moments. It's a lot of, damn, Gina, I'll marry you. We've been together 3 years. Fuck it moments. They wear you down. They don't lift you up. Which is the discernment of a good person, regardless of gender. Like, you got people who inspirational speakers, right? They lift you up. Like motivational, inspirational, lift you up, make you want to go out there. The right person the right coach, a man, the right coach will make a football player want to run through a wall. These chicks make you want to sit in your car for an hour in front of your house and not go in the house.
Well,
but that's what I'm saying. But that type of stuff right there, dirty folks, that right there, that's what I'm saying. Men, and I think men are starting to not do that no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go in the cave and just, all right, I'm just gonna let it be. Men ain't doing that, bro. Why you take you so long to come up in the house? Because I'm really tired of you, and all you always doing is nagging, fam. You nag like your mama and your granny, and I'm getting tired of it. When men start saying that to their woman and stuff, bro, they act right, fam. They get right, fam. But I gotta put a little on the man's, I gotta put a little on them, because as a man, bro, you gotta let a person know to get treated the way you want to be treated. You gotta let them know how you need to be treated.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you gotta come home from work and you gotta stay in your car and things like that, 30 minutes just to get depressed at a spot that you pay bills at, that don't make no sense, people.
No, it don't.
What's going on?
It don't.
That shit don't make no
It don't. It absolutely don't.
Bitch, Bitch, you better get your mind right. Fuck is you talking about, fam? You know how quick I'd be like, bro, so you trying to tell me, fam, that you'll go to a whole a job and give this nigga and this bitch your best, put on your face and all that, but when you get home with me, I get the worst. So nigga, quit playing.
Bruh.
What you think this is?
Bruh, nigga, what?
But this the thing. Me ain't gotta express that shit to them women.
You got to.
Stop sitting on your ass. No, express that shit. Bitch, you got me fucked up. You think I'm because when I go out there in the world and I'm going through what I'm going through, soon as I hit this motherfucking door, all that shit out the door, fam. So I expect you to do the same, baby girl. Or you can get lost. Yeah, put that pressure on them. I bet next time she come up in that door, she wipe them eyes, she shake it off, she say a little prayer, she come up in the door, how you doing, baby? Yeah, that's what you need to do. Because these kids, I'm gonna land it. Because these kids don't care. They don't care about all that what you going through, fam. They don't care.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to my boy Pierre, Reverend Pierre. No, Reverend Pierre. No, I'm about to co-sign. Reverend Pierre. Shout out to Pierre. My nigga Pierre just got a job at the as a fireman. So you 2 days on, 1 day off, right?
Right.
So this happened to be a Friday. I know it's a Friday because we have a fishbowl Friday, right? Fishbowl is the Patron tequila, right? Because it's like a fishbowl.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a friend who got killed by his wife's mistress, or whatever you call a side dude. And it was real wild. And his front porch, it was crazy. So his favorite drink was tequila, like Patron. So we have fishbowl Friday. So we out there drinking fish bowls. And Pierre come outside in a wife beater, some old basketball shorts, and some house shoes. Like he looked like a person that wasn't supposed to be walking outside. And he came. He leaned on the truck, and we all in the street, we drinking, we cracking jokes, whatever. And he come through and look all depressed. And I'm like, yo, P, what's good? He started talking about his baby mama. I said, look, bro, why you don't choke her? I said, look, bro, a woman's job in a relationship is part-time. It's a 4-hour-a-day job. That's it. 4 hours a day. She got 9 hours to give her employer. She got 4 hours a day. Like you see your man an hour before you go to work, or he go to work, and you probably see him like 2 or 3 hours when he get home, and then y'all sleep the rest of the time. You can't count the unconscious time. She can't be nice to you for 4 hours a day. She can't be a part-time happy person. Like, bro, you need to work that out. But he didn't work it out, and she ended up getting him locked up because that's black girl magic. But no black girls know no women like that. Let them tell it. No, nobody know no women like that, but all of us know a woman like that. So
Well, so let me just end. We're gonna have to probably end the stream soon, but before we go to the last words, but let me talk on that whole thing, especially about marriage. I tell guys, listen, man, you are the last defense of when you're gonna cleave to a woman. You marry a woman, you got to be damn sure that she views you as her first choice. You got to be as sure as you possibly can be, and you'll never be 100% sure, but you got to be almost right there. And I said, because if you marry a woman, it's like, I equate it to like letting a vampire in your house if you have the wrong woman, because they can't get in unless you let them in. You let them in that inner circle. And I said, if you let the wrong woman in, she's going to suck you dry. It's not going to be right away. I said, vampires like to play with their food. So, so you let her in, and she's just going to drain you night after night after night until one day she's tired of it, and then she's just going to finish you off. So I says, you got to really, either if you're getting the milk, but she ain't marriage material, don't ever marry her. Don't ever marry her. And if you got a lot of money these days in the West, I don't see how any rich man will ever marry a woman in the West. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense anymore. It really doesn't. I'm an advocate for marriage. The judges are breaking prenups, and all kinds of things are going on. So dirty folks said he got to cut out. But anyway, so listen. You gotta, hey boss man, you got any last words? I know you're still up there. I know your mouth hurts. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did. Because I know you like to talk, man, but I don't know, man. What do you think our solution is, boss man? And let's go for the last words. You go ahead, and then I'll let Big West finish it off, and then I'll finish it off after that. Go ahead.
I'll go back to I'll go back to the previous question that you asked, which was, what do you think men have to do?
Right.
I think since we are leaving the I would say pandemic, I say epidemic of single motherhood, where a lot of women raised a bunch of men on their own, young men on their own. I would suggest that as soon as possible, men need to break away from their from their mothers as soon as possible, and break away from the training and the indoctrination of the mothers as soon as possible, and find counsel and training and mentorship of fellow men as soon as possible, in order to learn how to govern themselves as men and stand up for themselves as men. That isn't to suggest that there isn't any onus or any encumbrance on the woman to learn how to govern themselves, but that isn't to suggest also that there isn't anything incumbent upon men to govern ourselves better, and stand up for ourselves, speak for ourselves, but also carry ourselves better as well. We can expect. I always live myself, live my life, and live my marriage in this manner. And I tell my wife the same thing. I can't expect anything from you that I'm unable to produce. I can't tell you to do something that I am unable to show and lead and profess by example.
Mm-hmm.
So by that standard, I cannot expect you to be level-headed if I come into the house unleveled. That's just bottom line. So I try to lead in this house by example. And before I expect anything of her, I show it first. That way I always can say, hey, before I expect it, I can always point to something that I've already done that she's already benefited from. That way it can never be pointed back to say, hey, I've never seen this before. Yes, you have. You've already benefited from it. And here's when it was. Because women always need proof.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I've always learned to live. And I learned that from a man, not from a woman.
No, I hear you.
So it's that's why I say, and I come from a single mother background. And that's why I'm saying from experience, you've got to get away from your mother and get away from her as fast as possible. I'm not saying that you can't learn anything from her, because certainly there are some lessons that I still hold true, but the invaluable lessons of handling your marriage, handling your woman, and handling your children come from men who have had the experience. And yes, are Payne the boomers too.
Listen, man. Like I said, I'm the strangest boomer in the whole world because I don't recognize the people you guys are talking about. But anything else, man? You got some more because that was good. You finished or you got more?
No, that's it. That's all I can stand. It's very much.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Those are good words there. Hey, Big West, what you got, man? Last words.
Already, man. Last word, man. Shit, big homie, Big Joseph did it all, man. So I can't even say nothing about that. I guess I just give everybody love in the world. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing, Art Payne. Feel what I'm saying? You been rolling hard. Keep doing Black Man Filter Network, man. I love what you're doing for us, man. Y'all keep just doing what y'all doing, man. You know, just like Big Homie just said before us, y'all are the men that we are getting up under to figure out life. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna take some that's good, and we gonna leave whatever that's bad. You get what I'm saying? But y'all are the men that we listen to, and we hear y'all. You get what I'm saying? We love y'all, and we thank y'all for, actually really standing up, man, and talking. Because when you think about it, bro, ain't no other race of man really talking. You know, just think about it out here. You know, far as talking for the man and really standing up and really, you know what I'm saying, expressing how they really feel. It's us. It's the black man that's doing it. And all the other men are seeing it now. So, you know, man, let's just keep doing what we're doing. You love your woman, you know. That's what you do. You love your woman. You love your family. You get with other like-minded people that have families and wives, and that's where you build your community. You get what I'm saying? We don't build community out of just straight trash. No deal. We don't do that. We just don't. Nah, we don't. No. You build your community with families. That's how you build it. Man, woman, child, God above everything. That's how we gonna build this, and that's what we gonna do. So keep doing what you're doing. Art Payne, love you. Dirty folks, Josh, everybody, y'all know what it is. Edom, everybody who was here, y'all keep going, man. Love y'all. Y'all keep going, man. I'm out. Big West.
Hey, thanks for coming up, and thanks for coming up, you dirty folks and everybody else. It was good, Big West. And listen, Boss Man said something that hit home, because I was going to say that myself, but you stole my thunder, because it's exactly what happened to me when I was 17. I was in a house full of women, matriarchs all the way and stuff. My pops was around, but he wasn't living there, and I had to get out. I had to get around men, and I made my way. My grades went up so I can get into college, and the first thing I wanted to do was get around fellas. That's why I joined the frat. And there was a lot of professional men in grad school with frat. You know, they had families. Some had families already. They were all doctors, lawyers, administrators, all that kind of stuff. And we used to hang out. We had those conversations, dealing with girls and all that kind of stuff, man. How to handle this, how to handle that. But it still was a sister, though. One sister, though, she was older than me. She gave me the one lesson not that superseded what the men gave me, but the one lesson about women that I never forgot. And I wish I would remember her name, but I remember we were talking, and I was 19. I was glad I was real young. She said, "Let me tell you, man, when you're dealing with girls, they don't have no power over you. The only thing if you lose your control to the box they have between their legs, you're lost." That's what she said. She said that's the only power they have over you. Other than that, everything they have, you give them. Every other power that they have over you is because you gave it to them. And so I never forgot that. That shit was like,
That's a fact. That's a fact, man.
Yes, I was like 50
from
years
the
ago.
emotions to everything. Like if we don't let it phase us, it won't hurt us, you know. But that's why I guess they say certain things and things like this so they can try to get that reaction out of us, because they know. Okay, yes, sir. Talk to me.
Yeah, so those were one of the things I lost, and so I mean I learned, and I'm glad for it. So that's why, you know, I know everybody teases about the baby boomers. I can't say none of that was true. My life was more like yours, Big West. I believe, but my family was really close. The brother, everybody got married, and we had so many till death do you part funerals. That's why I don't see. I mean, me and my wife are in one 37 years. You know, where did I get that from? My parents. You know, my father married twice. Both of his wives loved the hell out of him, right? So, matter of fact, you know, he was a veteran, and both of his wives are buried in the plot that you know, that he had as a veteran.
Right, of course.
You know, so all I'm just trying to say is we had those kind of marriages.
It was a different time. You get what I'm saying? It was different women back then.
Different time, yeah. So when I looked at the generations, because I looked at, I do the family tree. So I see the marriages. I seen the fact that a lot of our young ones, millennials and Gen Xers, started having kids out of wedlock. But guess who took care of those goddamn kids? The boomers everybody hates. Right, because we had the houses, we had the infrastructure to keep those kids off the street. Everybody got an education, everybody had food to eat, everybody had clothes on their back because of their parents and grandparents. You know,
that's a fact. Let me say this, and I was gonna say, I don't really think it's a disdain from the black men to the boomers. I think it's the women that don't like the boomers. You know, we'll make our jokes and things like that, but we more so respect y'all and love y'all and really thank y'all for what y'all did for us, our meemaws and papaws, you know. But it be the black women that's talking just crazy about their granny or crazy about their papa. You know what I'm saying? It's just
what they say about their
weird.
grandmothers. Well, and it's just one thing I don't agree with, but especially with the modern woman. They said the only reason why they were with their men is because they didn't have no choice. And the reason why, I hear them, but being there and saying that all the women I know who were married, my aunts, my uncle, my mother, they were only with their husbands because they didn't have no choice. That's a lie.
It simply was not true, brother. That's and our Payne. They try to tell you like it's true, like you didn't grow up in the time, like you wasn't there. You know what I'm saying, our Payne?
I hear them, and they say it with such conviction, and all they're looking for is to have a man they could cleave to, and they can't find one because they have this cognitive dissonance going on. They all want to say, I wish I could find a man to love. So I mean, where do you think you got that from? Anyway, so anyhow, man, let me go ahead and
we'll keep going, our Payne.
Let
you go, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, but you know what? I'm starting to understand about what people are saying about the baby boomers. I always knew. Listen, there's 76 million baby boomers, right? So I understand that there was probably a sizable faction who had latchkey kids who did all this kind of stuff, but there was also the untold faction of people. And that's why baby boomers are in charge of everything right now, dying off, but they're still in charge of everything. They have to accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
they just be doing, they just be meddling. You know what I'm saying? That's how
everybody has to blame something on somebody, man.
Yeah, that's how. But when it comes down to it, man, we love the shit out of what y'all did for us, bro. Because we wouldn't have been able to do it. That's a fact.
All right, man. All right, Big West. Listen, we're going to end the stream, man. I appreciate everybody. All right, take it easy, man. And we are going to be out of here.
It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies, come and saddle up a ride. Need a yeehaw, you know how here for one night and we just wanna party. In a fast car, a Ferrari, it's a push start, I don't need a car key. It's out on Broadway, and it's gnarly, on a late night, but I'm not tardy. Right on time for the parties and Barbies, strolling with a chunk of green like a golf swing. Hey, 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 bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, 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 if I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Come and kiss me up, it's going down like a train with no brakes, I'm not slowing down. See it showing up, we're showing out. Better pack it.
All right, there's industry and the live.